3 strikes, you're out. You have no shot with this case. It was brought up, they were like 95% Italians, and anybody whose name was Albert was really Alberto. Just like they call me Frank, and my name is Francesco.
Years on you.
Yeah? You think you can take me?
I didn't say that. I didn't say that. No.
He had that same
My
treatment.
doctor told me that, Judge, and clearly I listened to him. I insured him.
You just got sort of a bounce in your step because I see that you got an apartment now. You're not on the street. You're not going through that, security issue when you're on the street, the safety and all of that.
A motorist who's fostering 3 toddlers got a speeding ticket to get her kids milk. Will the judge reward her selflessness and dismiss the case?
Charles, we're going through a red light on Eddy Street and Dudley Street.
Guilty with extenuating circumstances.
What did you do? Make a right-hand turn?
Yes. January 3rd, my wife had major surgery at Women and Infants Hospital.
They had their first post-op appointment on the 16th at 10:30. They left plenty of time from Pawtucket, but for some reason the Department of Transportation decided to close 2 lanes on 95 for reasons not known to him. He further explained that they were going to be late, and according to him, when you check in at the Women's and Infants Hospital, there's always a security thing, so it takes a while before you get to the appointment.
There wasn't a car in front of me. I just rolled to the right. Didn't cross traffic or anything. I didn't stop. And I think, Your Honor, under the circumstances, if it was a policeman rather than a camera, I can't believe that I would have been written up.
Well, I think we're done here. He made his own judgment. Judge Frank asked Inspector Quinn what he thought. He explained that the judge has made some really good rulings regarding medicals and medical appointments and emergencies in that area, and he also did have a chance to view the video, and there was no oncoming traffic or anything.
As you stated yesterday, I'm more impressed that Mr. Zito, at his age, is still caring for his wife and bringing her to the medical appointments and everything. And I believe that's a bigger lesson to learn than the red light.
Joe, I think we can give you a break on this.
Judge Frank made it clear that he didn't want him coming in the week after, and he acknowledged that. It's beautiful seeing old men still go miles for their wives. Joe is without a doubt an amazing husband. Judge Caprio is reunited with a former student who credits Judge Caprio for his success as an adult.
Where do I know you from?
Well, first of all, Hope High School. You were a teacher there.
I was.
Yeah. And then you used to give me a ride to Hoyle Square after school. Not every night, but I used to pick up my father's car because he worked at the Hoyle Open Air Market, and he used to drop me off there.
He then applied for a position at the engineer's office as a draftsman/surveyor, and the ruling at that time was that you have to have a councilman okay your position, so he had visited Judge Frank and he made the call. That's evidence that Judge Frank has always been a compassionate man.
Let me get this straight. So you were a student of mine,
Yeah.
and did I pass you? Did you pass?
Of course.
What did you get for a grade?
I think it was a B.
You got a B. Probably deserved a C, right?
Maybe a little less than.
He asked if there was anybody from environmental present. There was a lady, and she explained that it was a recycling violation. She stated that there were plastic bags inside the recycling container, which isn't allowed. He then explained that he'd gotten a notification in the mail that he owed $50 for a violation, but he was never notified previously that he had any violations.
That I had plastic in there. And here's the plastic bag, which comes from Walmart, and it says right there, recyclable.
So it's Walmart's fault.
Well, it can't be Walmart.
The judge thought the job would have been the last of it, so he thought he had gotten rid of him 50 years ago. But like a bad penny, he keeps popping up. He stated he was going to give him the benefit of the doubt. He read the bag, and due to the fact that the bag says it's recyclable, he thought he could do it.
On this, okay.
Okay.
Don't come back next week with another bag and say, I thought it was recycled.
No more bags. No more bags. I could make a joke about that, but she's really close, right behind me.
No. How did he do? Did he do okay?
Apparently, his wife also thought how convenient it was that Walmart was giving her a bag that was recyclable. It's quite surprising that he never for once blamed his wife through the whole conversation. Now she's taking the heat for him and giving him all the credit. Any other guy would have immediately pointed fingers at his wife, putting all the blame on her. If you're that man, you should learn from him.
Remember your husband when he was the young guy?
Do you?
Yeah, of course. I mean, well, I remember because once he told me about the ride.
He always speaks highly of you.
You're supposed to tell me that before I make a decision, not after. Let me ask is he a good husband?
He absolutely is.
They're such a great couple, and the fact that they have each other's back is heartwarming. Judge Caprio is moved by the troubling story of an anemic 90-year-old cancer survivor who also survived a night in the ER, only to discover his problems were far from over.
You're charged with parking during an emergency. Do you remember this?
Yes. Could I give you an explanation?
It better be good, I'm telling you, Alberto.
I
better
am
be-
anemic.
It better be a good one because
Alberto is anemic and also a cancer survivor, and his hemoglobin is low. He explained that he was up all night long that night. He couldn't walk or talk, so he called the hospital the following morning. He parked in the handicapped zone because he has a handicap plate, so he walked to the hospital and they gave him a transfusion. About 4 o'clock in the afternoon after the transfusion, he was able to walk to his car, but it was not there anymore.
Towed. And I was so beat, mentally and physically. And the agents in the hospital, the security, they managed to find out where the car.
He had no access to get there, but they finally sent a tow truck to the hospital to pick him up. He thought with the handicap plate in a handicapped zone he was safe, but apparently that wasn't the case. Seemed like they didn't interpret the rules the same way he did.
feeling better.
Right now, I got to go to the hospital. I'm 90 years old.
This is a very unfortunate situation that you had to come to court today, because you shouldn't be here to begin with, right? This was probably a snowstorm, right?
He had previously paid $123, and they towed his car, coupled with all the other problems he was having, and then to make it worse, they gave him another $100 ticket in addition to towing his car. I can imagine how frustrated he must have been. The judge declared that he was dismissing the case.
I thought you were going to come in with cut-off jeans today, no? Stay well.
Thank you.
All right. Albert, the matter is dismissed.
Thank
Good
you
luck.
so
We have to commend Alberto's strength and resilience, because even though he had to be put through so much on the day of his hospital visit, he still managed to navigate himself through the difficulties at such an old age. Meeting a humble Korean War veteran leads Judge Caprio to remind us all why we should never forget the service and sacrifices of those who served in our armed forces.
I'm good. Oh, great.
You're great.
For my age.
Yeah, well, we say, I'm in good shape for the shape that I'm in, right? You have a speeding ticket.
Speeding ticket. No. That wasn't speeding.
He stated that he was going 32 miles an hour. Well, I guess he wasn't aware he was in a 20-mile-per-hour zone. He explained that it was 5:30 in the morning and he was coming from the VA. He had served in the military in 1954 and 1957. That was in Korea, and he was there for 6 months. If you didn't know before now, Judge Frank was actually in high school at the time.
A couple of my classmates were Korean veterans.
Yep.
And they came back to school under the GI Bill of Rights, and then went on to college, But anyway, we thank you for your service. So,
According to the judge, the least he could do for a veteran who served in Korea and was coming back from the vet hospital is to give him a break. He further stated that he was going to do it because he looked good and he also feels good. He asserted that it was many moons ago. It sure was, but it's never to be forgotten.
but we don't forget. We honor those people who served in this country. So, thank you for your service. The case is dismissed.
Thank you very much.
This 87-year-old motorist won't let her age keep her down. Miss Waterville came to court with escorts, and they'll also be paying her bail. But Miss Waterville thinks otherwise. She believes they're hoping the court would take her and keep her.
In Pawtucket, and you came to Providence, and you're speeding in Providence.
No, what happened was my insurance company refused to pay for my insure. I had surgery and I had...
So she had to do different medications with the Ensure to put on weight. They had called her from Rhode Island Hospital to go to Dudley. She was also told she'd be given some free Ensure. That was where she was going when it all happened.
First of all, I'm not probing your medical condition by any stretch of the imagination, but evidently you had to put on some weight, so they were going to give you a diet supplement.
Well, I was way down until I went on the insurance stuff.
Yeah, well,
I was like, 90?
The judge asked her who the other women were. It appears that the woman on Jean was her daughter and the other was her friend. She called them her keepers, and her daughter added that they keep her out of trouble. She told the court that she had just turned 87 and she takes care of feral animals, but they don't particularly like it.
Mill area that they're not functional anymore, and they built an apartment. So I have raccoons, I have woodchucks, I have possums, I have all these things that come up to me that I do daily, which everybody...
Conforming to what she said, everybody is not thrilled with that. That wasn't the only thing that they were not thrilled with. The fact that she refuses to carry a cell phone was also a problem. In her defense, she worked on phones all her life and she doesn't feel that she has to be functional with a phone. There was one more thing that she wasn't going to leave out. She asserted that she also opens her mouth constantly, which was also a problem.
Hitting somebody, I'm the kind that jumps in and says, I lie. I say I have a cell phone and I pretend I'm calling the cops or things like that.
I have a dinner engagement tonight, so keep it short.
She has 3 children and her daughter has 2 children. She's the oldest, so she's basically her mother's caretaker, and she also drove her to court. But for this offence, Miss Waterville was the one driving. Inspector Quinn believed that was probably her only offence.
Inspector Quinn, the matter is going to be dismissed. Good luck to you.
Oh, thank you. Well, I've made it this far, so I guess I'll continue on.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Her habit of constantly talking just helped her because she basically talked her way out of the ticket. You don't get to see a lot of 87-year-old women still full of life like her. Judge Caprio is shocked to find out what turned around the life of a formerly homeless man. It appears that Mr. Smith has previously been in court, and Inspector Quinn believes he's even been to court more than him.
Severe offenses, and there are several of them,
Yep.
for overnight parking.
Yep. I got the handicap sticker. I don't know why they keep giving it to me.
You have a handicap? Yeah. And these are all on Grove.
He told the court that he moved from there but is now on Broad Street. Judge Frank was quite surprised because the last time he was in court he was homeless and sleeping in his car, but he isn't anymore. I'm happy for him. Having a roof over your head is really a blessing that shouldn't be taken for granted.
I got the apartment from the state. The state put me up on Broad Street on one of the houses.
Well, I'm happy for you. That's great.
I appreciate it.
The last time you left, I told you I was wishing you well and I hope things turned around for you.
Well, things clearly did turn out well for him. The judge asked what exactly changed his life, and I was really expecting what he said next. He told the judge that he and Inspector Quinn changed his life. Inspector Quinn explained that he believed it was one of the times that he was in court, which was probably the last time. A few advocates were in court and the judge made him talk to them. For the benefit of people watching, Judge Frank requested he explain how it was living on the street. He explained that there was a lot of loneliness because his wife had passed in 2004 and she was more or less taking care of him at the time, and when she passed, everything went down and he lost everything. His only source of income now is the Social Security widow's pension.
And they ended up contacting social services and worked its way through,
Yep.
and he was eligible to get the housing.
Well, you're making my day today, Mr. Smith.
Yes.
This is great.
Considering the fact that he knew he was broke, he was going to dismiss the case. Not only did he dismiss the case, he gave him $50 from the Philomena Fund to get something to eat or use it for something pleasurable.
Philomena Fund earlier, right? And I'm so happy for you, really. I know you've been here before, and sometimes I was upset with you because I didn't think you were. You came in a couple of times with a bad attitude, which I never hold that against people because I understand this is an intimidating.